Hello and welcome to Xena Warrior Podcast Minisodes. My name is Vera and I'm joined as always by my two beguiling co-hosts, Katie.
Hello.
And Livy.
Hi. A not very good movie by Sofia Coppola.
Oh, but a good movie by, I forget who made the original.
Yeah, that's true. It's good.
But it's more about how, like, one can become beguiled.
By Lucy Lawless.
For sure.
And
but
by
Clarissa. Yes, exactly. I was going to say not by Lucy Lawless in this case. We'll get to it.
Beguiled.
I see.
Wow, guys. We have watched My Life is Murder, the big episode that everyone in the Z-Night community has watched, I'm sure. And we're going to talk about it. But before that, just really quickly, we wanted to thank a listener who sent us an amazing email. Liv, take it away.
We have received so many amazing emails from listeners over the years, and we are so thankful to you guys for reaching out to us and sharing your experiences with us. Like, you know, this is often feels like a very one-sided conversation. So whenever you guys speak back, it's so satisfying to hear your side of things. This particular message, like, really moved us. It's from a listener named Alex. And the subject heading for this email is, because of you, I'm going to make movies, which just like immediately floored us even before we got to the actual body of the message. So Alex was inspired by listening to the podcast and like finding out how the sausage is made with Xena. And now they're making their own short film, storyboarding and scripting it. So go, Alex, like share your light with the world. Like this is definitely a first for us, knowing that, you know, we were able to like give somebody like that model, like, no, so moved by that, and yeah,
we wish you all the luck with your short, Alex. And now to discuss My Life is Murder. That's my New Zealand accent.
Good job.
Or is it a Melbourne accent?
Oh God.
Dun, dun, dun.
And after the discussion, there's a little bit of a surprise, but a mini discussion, a tiny discussion.
Like you're just doing a weird voice.
A tiny discussion about something tiny.
Yeah.
And, well, you'll know what it is because you'll have read the blurb. All right, My Life is Murder. This is the second season.
Yes.
And it is the season finale, possibly the last episode ever? Who knows?
We don't know. Well, so this episode of our podcast is about this one episode only.
Yes.
But we will be doing like a sort of full series discussion, overview, etc. on the Lucy Lawless IMDb experience soon.
Correct.
So this was just for if you've seen this episode.
And we know
or
you
if
have.
you haven't.
No, they've seen it.
It's fine, too.
It is episode 210, Pleasure and Pain. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Apologies, New Zealand.
Oh dear. I'm so embarrassed. That's not as good as your Mariah's.
I know, I was just thinking about it. I have one strength, and it is Mariah's
him.
voice. This is written by Jodie Malloy and directed by Michael Hurst.
Michael Hurst.
Yay!
I love that, you know, this is a Xena reunion in front of the camera,
I know.
behind the camera, to the side of the camera, just like everywhere there are people from Xena.
Yeah, it is really, really cute. And I was actually really surprised that Michael Hurst appeared in it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was fantastic.
He got murdered.
He got
Oh,
murdered. Wow.
I feel like you're about to do like your own version of the Mayor of Easttown SNL sketch, but for this show.
Murder.
Yeah. Wow. So what is this episode about, guys?
Well, okay, I don't know.
Should we
It's about a murder.
quickly describe what the show is for the one person in the audience who just is very confused right now?
And probably our smart device will go off as we talk about
you're
it.
Right.
Just warning.
Unplug it.
Well, let's have her do it.
Okay.
Alexa Crow.
Yep.
Oh, she didn't say anything, so it's fine. Well, Alexa Crow used to be a cop, but now she's not a cop. But then for some reason, cops come to her every single episode and are like, solve our murders for us.
She's really good at solving murders.
I still don't understand why this happens, because they could easily solve the murders themselves.
Seeing as the murders are very easy to solve.
And literally, she finds clues that are just so obvious that cops, in this episode for sure included. And then she has this amazing little assistant who's really good at computers.
Madison.
And we love them.
Yes.
She also bakes
bread. I
bread.
do love them, but she's so mean to Madison sometimes.
She is.
That I get upset. Madison is so good at her job.
Yeah.
She's so sweet. She, in the second season, comes all the way from Australia to live with Alexa, I think.
Because the show moved, so they had to get this character who's based in Australia to New Zealand.
So she uprooted her entire life for Alexa, and she treats her like shit.
She literally called her a different name in this the 10th episode of the season.
That was her pretending not to know her.
Oh,
but
really?
It also felt like a bit
of a
real.
Yeah. It felt real.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's like a running joke. It's cute, but it sometimes goes too far. It's like, Gabrielle in the stage of just, I walk alongside your horse. But, she never gets pulled onto the horse.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Consistency with, or continuity for Lucy Lawless doing that.
Yes. Well, it is very much a lighthearted comedy murder show.
Right.
Like, it's a cozy murder.
Yeah, we call it our cozy murder show.
It's like, like the British cozy murders style Murder, She Wrote thing.
Is that how Murder, She Wrote is?
I don't remember.
I've never seen it.
I've actually never seen it,
I honestly don't remember, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't remember. But I know Lucy Lawless described it as Murder, She Wrote-y.
She would know, as she loves murders.
But she also described it as Meet Sex in the City, which I did not understand.
That is not at all what it is.
That was confusing to me.
But I guess because she flirts with people. So.
But she doesn't start with a diary entry of how she's gonna be.
But she's living her best life, a single gal in the big city, making bread.
Right.
Which I would like to have.
I don't know. She's kind of a bee about her bread.
She makes really good bread, so she's allowed. She has an adorable cat who often gets reaction shots. She has a really nice apartment that for some reason, when she went from Australia to New Zealand, the apartment kind of didn't change all that much. I feel like she found a clone of that apartment in New Zealand, but they're both amazing.
Yeah, everything is kind of formulaic between season 1 and 2. And
that's the point.
Well, yeah, I mean, what's the point is that you're not supposed to notice that it's now not in Australia. It's literally the same, but the same things are there for your show that you liked in season 1. So, she still bakes bread, she still goes to a restaurant, and, has a weird flirtatious relationship with the guy who runs it.
Yeah, and she has a type, which is guys who run cafes where she sells her bread.
Yeah.
But then also maybe
has a weird relationship with the cop.
Who gives her the cases.
Who gives her the cases, yeah. And so, it worked in season 1, so they were like, yeah, we gotta do exactly the same thing here. Yeah.
It's like they come to her for advice and then she just goes off and does the investigation
just solves the whole
instead.
case for them.
Yeah, so I guess it's lazy cops.
Yeah, which is I don't know how it all works at the end of the day, because she's not actually employed by them, so what is admissible? I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Where are the follow-ups of her testifying in court all the time?
I don't know.
That's a good point.
But anyway.
Definitely seems some
she's like a PI. Well, she's kind of like a PI.
So.
Yeah, so they're allowed to do their investigating.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
And so are journalists.
That's
true.
But they would pay a PI? Are they paying her?
I don't know.
She's just doing it for fun.
Maybe they pay her in flour for her bread.
I think she does have a lot
She's
of money.
loaded.
I think it's from her dead husband.
Yeah. whatever he did.
Yeah, that is the
Whatever
one
happened.
intriguing element in the Cozy Murder show. Is she has a dead husband. You do occasionally have episodes that deal with her grief.
It seems like, though, this season, I mean, we haven't yet finished the whole season. We did jump to this one special.
Yes.
But, like,
Who
all of
can
them
blame
so
us?
far have, like, referenced it in some way with,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think it goes anywhere, this being the
No,
season
just-
finale. Just a little bit of character background, a
right.
little bit of depth.
You can't get your coziness without a little bit of bittersweet.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, why are we here?
Well, we're here because in this last episode, there was a very special guest star.
Lucy is a
Exec-
producer on this program,
Yeah.
so she can get all of her friends to appear.
Yeah, like William Shatner, who
Like
I
William
did not
Shatner.
watch episode 4 yet, but we will, I think, at some point.
Yeah,
Have to.
it'll happen.
Yes, and
But it seems like basically since she started working on the show, she was trying to get Renee to appear. The stars finally aligned in
Hooray.
season 2, and we get Renee for the finale.
yeah,
Yes.
which is crazy because then they filmed it during COVID times, so she had to come over and do the New Zealand quarantine
Yep.
and stuff.
And,
Apparently tried
yeah.
to surprise her, Lucy, in line when she got out of quarantine or something. I'm like, I might be misremembering.
I think
this
she
No,
did
it's true,
surprise her.
yeah.
And then she didn't recognize
Yeah,
her.
Lucy didn't recognize her with the mask on, which is that's such a COVID story.
Yeah, it's really cute because and you know they tried to hide it for forever on social media and stuff, and everybody was like,
Something's going on.
like Renee's in New Zealand,
Right.
like visiting her son, but at the same time, it's like this show is filming.
Right. Who is also in this.
Yeah.
It's such a family affair. Like,
Yeah.
I do appreciate that you have Renee's son playing her son, like
Yeah.
Larissa's son. I noticed in the credits that Daisy Lawless is the script coordinator.
Oh my
on
God.
My Life is Murder.
Wow,
Probably
she
for the-
changes jobs a lot. She used to be in post production for Spartacus.
Yeah, I think she's getting a whole film education
Oh,
by
wow.
jobs on her mom's shows, which is awesome. Get it.
I guess there's not much post production
Yeah.
work to do on My Life is Murder.
That may be too. There's also Colin Mathura Jeffrey, who played Shakti in Between the Lines, who's like one of the cult
Is he the
followers.
He's the guy who climbs the.
Yes,
he's wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
I saw him there and was like, that's Colin, who is our friend on
Yes.
Twitter,
Yeah.
a friend of the podcast on Twitter, and looked it up and was amazed that it is him. He clearly,
Wow.
wanted to come hang out
That's
with Lucy
amazing because I was
and
like
Renee.
that one cult member got a lot of
A lot of
coverage.
face time. He's a beautiful man.
Yeah, he looked amazing.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
So, Colin, if you're listening to this,
Colin.
we enjoyed your appearance.
As always. So yes, Renee
episode, yes.
plays a cult leader, sort of.
Basically.
Yeah.
It had like a Scientology vibe.
Yeah.
Scientology meets Nexium.
Nexium for sure. I know Renee was like researching Keith Raniere, the head of Nexium.
She would do research for
She
this.
would, right? She would absolutely approach this very seriously. In apparently the original script, before they actually got Renee on board, they weren't sure like what role it would be. Lucy was just recruiting Renee, like, come, we'll be on the show, we'll slot you in somewhere. So this character in the original script was a man.
Oh wait, so it was. Oh, so it was just one cult leader. It wasn't a husband and wife.
I'm not. That's a good question. I'm not sure what the original
Like
script
two
was.
husbands
But
as
yeah,
cult
the
leaders.
cult leader would have been male. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
it was, his partner who was killed. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to imagine if she would have been the Sarah plot, like the Sarah character. But I like this. I like that there are good programs where husband and wife cult leaders are played by people I like that one
are
we
you
still
talking
haven't seen
This
with
is
Kate.
so specific.
Kate Blanchett plays one.
Husband and wife cult leaders played by people I like.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this?
A show we have not seen. It stars Yvonne Strahovski, and I think it's Australian too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about
Yeah.
this show.
So yeah, Kate Blanchett is a cult leader. Check it out.
I mean, I'd join her cult.
I think she makes you dance.
I'm not sure I would join Hicks.
Hicks. Okay.
Hicks.
Nixium.
I think they were definitely thinking of Nexium. Nexium definitely has like shawls like for the different levels of as you progress, which is similar.
Was that Scientology?
Similar to Scientology, but yeah, the fact that you're like wearing the symbol of it made me think Nexium. Yeah,
like they get little charms in this. or something.
Yeah, which of course have plot significance.
Right.
Yeah. They progress through Solon levels.
What?
Solon?
That's what I said. So, like, when they said that, they introduced... Okay, so this is, like, the weirdest thing. But, like, I
remember this.
I thought everything in this episode was insanely meta. Like, insane. Like, way too much than it actually was.
You're like, everything is a secret message for
yes, it was. So, like, when she said... So, the scene where they introduced the Solon...
Are you sure that was the word?
It's the Solon levels. And when they said that, they also were like, this is Cameron, Clarissa's son. And I was like, Solon? This is a son? It's definitely... Talking about Solon, Xena's son. Yeah, and then if you reach the 8th level of these Solon levels, how do you pronounce this? It's not Solon.
I don't know, I just
Solon.
don't remember.
I probably heard it as soul and just kind of went with that.
Well, it's, yes.
I'm going to decide that even if that's not what was said,
It is.
It's definitely the
what
Solon
it is.
levels. What Solon level are you, Vera?
I'm
you're like
8th Solon level because I'm Alpha Solon, which is what Clarissa and Otto are.
She is an alpha. I'm like a level 2. I'm too cheap to pay to get to 3.
You can't climb the rope.
I mean, I can't. I literally can't.
You can't eat your veggie stick.
I definitely can't. No quinoa for me, please.
So yeah, the cult is very. The cult could have been better, I suppose. But it is. It's like
I did. Yeah, my like big kind of feedback from this episode, which obviously, like, thank God it exists. But yeah, I definitely was expecting more cult.
Yeah, and I expected more Renee as cult leader. Like we saw the other woman, Sarah, do the class, and I wanted like more. I wanted Alpha Solon, Clarissa walking around.
She came in to do like a speech or intro.
Yeah,
she's sort
and
of
make
like
people sign NDAs.
You know, she's the woman behind the curtain. She's like, she's mysterious.
But,
curtain of red hair.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a Luke.
Yeah, wait, let's get this out of the way.
We gotta talk about the Luke.
The hair and the makeup were a choice.
Well, you could say that about all the clothes for this show, too.
Yeah.
Everything's a choice.
This show has a lot of choices.
Like, I love Madison's wardrobe.
Madison's wardrobe is so good.
Well, Madison's like, the only character where it works for
Alexa's
her.
clothes are fine. She didn't say anything again. Good job.
Our
device.
Alexa.
Our Alexa was like, thank you.
She lights up.
Thank you
but doesn't say anything so far.
Like my outfits.
But anyway.
Alexa's tasteful trenches. She has like
the same one in a bunch of colors.
Every color.
I actually loved her. The only look for her that I've ever loved was her undercover at the cult look, where she wore that leather jacket. She looked really great.
That was nice.
That was like a normal clothes.
Just
finally,
like a normal lady. Like as friend of the pod, Nora would like always points out, it's like a J. Jill
style.
It's like it's very achievable. Yeah, you see it and you're like, I could solve
you could
crimes.
cosplay that.
I could wear this trench coat and walk around and be really comfortable and solve crimes.
Yeah, but anyway, like the Clarissa look is very I feel like it's very intense and thus part of this character who is this intense cult leader lady.
She has very high heels. There's a shot of her on the staircase where I was like, she's gonna fall. She's gonna fall down those stairs.
I mean, Renee is short, so they probably wanted to just get her
next to Lucy.
Yeah.
But it worked for the character.
Well, at one point she wore like a weird kind of like hot pink tie-dye situation, but I was like, oh, they did this because it looks kind of like blood. But it wasn't red. But I was like, oh, maybe they were thinking about this character.
That's probably, I hope so. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I guess.
Anywho.
But yeah, I definitely felt like the full look with the very heavy red hair and the like intense blush situation.
Yeah.
Like she had a sort of mask-like look, which I mean I think again like worked for the character. It wasn't necessarily how I like seeing my Renee, but of course, like, you know, this was very much a performance. Like,
she was great in this. It was very fun.
I'm sure we'll all agree that the best scene of this episode, and certainly Renee's best scene, was that one-on-one with Alexa.
Yeah, so if it's not clear, Clarissa and Otto Klein are the husband and wife. That's her and Michael Hurst, who looked fucking amazing as that cult guy.
I honestly buy the whole thing. I buy that Clarissa and Otto would be an item. Like I thought they made a nice couple.
Yeah, like they're weird,
but also like a weird couple. Yeah. Like, you know, there's shit going down.
I thought their styles didn't quite match. Like you'd think she would be, I don't know, like she was like, you know, whatever she was, and he was just like he looked like a cult leader. So maybe she was like the behind the scenes all the time, and then she sort of appeared in front of the scenes. I don't know.
I was also very intrigued. I mean, obviously there are other reasons for why this is so, but the fact that obviously Clarissa has an American accent, Cameron, her son, has an American accent, and Otto sounds like Michael Hurst. I was like, well, where do they live? Like, have they been like living on a boat this whole time? Like, what's the story with the Kleins?
I know. And so, and their son, aka Renee's son, there was a line about how his parents made him do this job as like IT/security. Yeah. And it was so like, again, meta. I was like, his mom made him do this. But he wanted to do it.
I'm sure he was eager to have a real acting job on the telly. Yeah.
So every new person who joins HAX gets a one-on-one with Clarissa, apparently.
Where Clarissa explains it all.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. She explains about the NDA you have to sign and all the security cameras, because whatever happens in HEX stays in HEX. So this is like the best scene, of course, from the whole show. Yes. Which was this one-on-one. Well, it starts with like a big close-up shot.
A very soft, romantic close-up.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael Hurst.
He did this on purpose.
Right.
I think he might have.
A hand reaches out and it wants to grasp the other hand, all gentle-like.
Seen this somewhere before.
All of this has happened before, and all of it will happen again.
It's a very sensual handshake.
Yeah.
Which is the first hand touch. There's more than one.
That's right.
Yeah, but this one is, I was like, okay, this is a normal way of shaking the hand of a stranger.
So then the next thing that appears in the same close-up shot is slowly enters in a bowl of peanuts.
Bowl of peanuts.
And Clarissa goes, peanut?
Yeah.
And Alexa goes, oh, I don't like peanuts.
So Vera, do you think there's a deeper meaning?
Let's discuss what this line could
on a
reference.
Textual level, I'm like, what the fuck? Because like, I'm allergic to peanuts. And I'm like, if someone just a sinister cult leader just hands me a dish of peanuts and goes, peanut, I would think she was trying to murder me.
Right.
Wow. And not to mention, she's already touched your hand with her peanut stained hand. So she's already on her way.
A sensual handshake, then here is a nut that many people are allergic to. This is all the food I'm going to offer you in this scene. It's just a dish of them sitting here.
It's really big.
It's really full of them. And
what did she say they're good for?
The
memory. Because she's like, peanuts, yum.
I don't think that's true at all.
Maybe that's why I have a bad memory.
Do elephants eat peanuts?
Yes.
Well, you know, they remember everything.
I think that's where Clarissa got this idea about them being great for the memory, the circus peanuts.
Yes, exactly. Well, then Alexa proceeds to say, at least they're good for something. Again, whoa.
So for someone maybe, you know, who isn't on Twitter, they'd come out of this conversation being like, wow, Alexa really
fucking hates peanuts.
Has something against peanuts.
And those who have been on Twitter are like, whoa.
This is definitely a scene about Kevin Sorbo for some reason.
Whoa, because she called him Peanut?
Yes.
She called him Peanut.
You think this is about Kevin
Yes,
Sorbo?
it is.
It's 100% a scene about Kevin Sorbo.
Yes, 100%. And you know what? Co-signed, underlined by Michael Hurst.
Yeah. Yeah. You saw that shot of those peanuts.
Yeah.
He put that in there.
He put that in. And she said that with so much like, yes, I hate
like
these fucking
peanuts.
peanuts. Yes. Wow. So that was like insanely.
That was a punch the air moment for us.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure. We've all seen that Twitter war happen.
How random the bowl of peanuts is.
No, man. Everything has a meeting here. A meta.
But then later you see Madison eating them happily, so I guess she's okay with Kevin Sorbo. Poor sweet girl.
That's right.
Falling apart.
They also touch hands again after that.
Yeah, so the second hand touch, I don't remember the exact line, but
she says, "Are you ready to take this journey with me?"
Ooh.
Yeah.
So that to me felt very like sins of the past.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. You know.
They're so good together in this scene that, like, I honestly thought Alexa was falling for it.
I did too.
Like, her eyes were, like, looking away.
Yeah.
Like, not looking away. Looking a particular way.
Well, this is where I really wish that the episode kind of wasn't how it was and was more like exploring a much deeper cover and longer stay at this cult.
I wanted Alexa to be beguiled or beguiled by Clarissa. And I was kind of bummed in the end that, like, most of the ep was, like, you know, Alexa, like, trespassing. And Clarissa being like, hey!
She's like, I'm going to get a restraining order.
Get off my lawn! Get out of my house!
Well, okay, so, I mean, she asked her what her, like, greatest fear was, and to me, I was like, oh shit, she got Alexa to actually like admit something substantial.
Yeah.
And because that's what the face you were talking about was like, it was a real face with a journey on it.
You see real pain on Alexa's face.
And then like 2 seconds later, she's like to Madison, oh yeah, I was like bullshitting her, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, who do we believe?
Maybe she was lying to Madison.
Who do we believe?
Right? Yeah. Who do we believe?
I don't know.
Do we think, I mean, I went back and watched that scene again. Like, do we think that Clarissa believes it?
Yeah.
You think so? I wasn't sure. I actually felt there was a kind of, like, twinkle in Renee's eye for that scene where maybe she sees that she's being bullshitted. And
well, the scene also implied that she had a background check on Alexa and, like, knew everything about her.
Yeah, so it felt a little bit by her bringing up, like, her past as a cop and the fact that she's come over from Australia that she's sort of saying, I know you're bullshitting me, you know? I know these are lies. But it was very convincing. Yeah.
Yeah. She convinced me, and then I was upset because she said she lied.
All you wanted was for Alexa to join this cult.
I did. I'm
sure we all felt that. We all wanted it.
A good cult movie is like real good.
You got to get in too deep.
Yeah, you got to get it in too deep.
I know we only have 40 minutes, but get in as deep as you can, Alexa.
Yeah. So I mean, like the murder she's there to solve is the fact that Otto was autoerotically asphyxiated.
I thought that was funny too.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't want to think of a different name. They were just like struggling, and they're like, "We already have this."
Yeah, why not? Boom. Yeah, and he was handcuffed to a bed in a hotel that he would go to, and he was having an affair with Sarah, who used to be a member of the cult. Now she's kind of like works there, and so there was like an affair going on, and then why she's still working there with the wife of this guy, what's going on. And the cops did not know how to fucking solve this, so Alexa did.
There was like a moment with Clarissa and Sarah where I thought the plot was going to be like they were a thing and then they were in cahoots. And then
can you guys explain what that scene was?
I have no idea.
Because that was my favorite scene in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously my favorite scene was the
peanut?
The two-hand touch peanut scene.
we touch each other and we hate Kevin Sorbo.
But my second favorite scene was this really just wonderfully shot scene in the bathroom between Clarissa and Sarah. And I loved, this was such a Michael Hurst touch that he just kind of focused this two-shot on Sarah's reflection in the bathroom mirror.
Right.
You can't really see Clarissa in the mirror. So she's a little like out of focus. And I feel like that like made her more threatening somehow. Like you couldn't quite see her.
Yeah.
So it was, My Life is Murder doesn't usually have that kind of sophisticated visual storytelling.
But that's like okay, because like
not every show needs to have that. Yeah,
like it's.
But I like having a director who gave us this little moment where you're like, oh, her reflection, after all these murders that they just did together, like.
Soft.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that was just a really, it's funny because I saw that Michael Hurst directed this and I was like, oh, wow, I wonder if there's going to be any shift in the kind of visual vocabulary, and was amazed that there actually was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He can't help himself.
I know. I love it. Thank you, Michael Hurst. But yeah, that scene was a really, really confusing because at the same time, it seemed that Alexa and Madison were at the same place as us, which was that Sarah comes from a rich family, so she doesn't need like money. This cult generates $15 million a year or something. Alexa. What? Alexa, stop.
Alexa, stop.
What was she saying?
Don't even know. She's too quiet.
Some kind of prominent English family.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, so both and Madison were at the same place as us, which was that Clarissa knows that they were having an affair, but she's cool with it. Like maybe they did it together. Maybe they planned this murder together.
It would have been fun.
Yeah. But then she goes and has Clarissa has a scene with Sarah in the bathroom. There was like a face touch, and
it's intense, and you feel like she's trying to intimidate her. You don't understand exactly what's going on.
And right after that, it was basically Alexa being like, it's like a family affair, I think she said.
Which is funny, again, because this episode is a family affair.
Yeah. My favorite episode.
Whoa, meta again.
Way more meta. Secret messages just for us.
Yes. So yeah, that really confused me because after that, that whole thing was just dropped. And so was Sarah, who went down a building and was presumably... they had a suicide, but it was definitely a murder.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a murder.
Murder, because her life is murder.
You guys, we're not going to be let into New Zealand when they let people in.
Oh no!
Oh my god. Yeah, so...
But Sarah has, the charm sewed into her jeans.
Oh, right. We didn't even mention that, getting through the Solon levels gives you a stupid charm bracelet.
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous.
So that's how it works, is you get the full charm bracelet.
And so only 2 alpha charms exist.
That of all the things to drop on your crime scene, is the one charm from your bracelet that nobody has.
Except for your husband.
Like you and your husband.
Yeah, exactly. So...
what are the odds?
How did it even fall off?
I don't even know. Okay. I guess when she was auto asphyxiating.
Asphyxiating auto.
Oh, yeah. So, so there was this clue, and suddenly I guess Alexa's eyes go to the son, right? Cameron, who is in love with Sarah, apparently, but then his dad, she was in love with his dad, and it was a whole thing. He was written out of his will, which is insanely shitty.
Insane. Yeah. I thought it was really funny that Cameron is a gamer, and he has this souped up gamer PC.
At work?
Yeah, at work. Like, literally, like, at the receptionist desk. It's his gamer PC.
Excuse me, that's his IT desk.
I was like, when are you playing that?
He's basically like, his parents own the business, so it's fine.
He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he built that computer himself, so good for him.
Yep.
Yeah, so he's a suspect now, and
Right.
and he was also seen on CCTV next to Sarah's apartment, like right before she jumped. And so when the cops, like, Alexa investigates the Sarah's clothes from this murder scene, and she's the one who finds this. And I'm just, again, like, what are these cops? Why has nobody but her found this?
I don't know.
She's also the one who's, like, looked at the fucking, like, crime scene photos and was like, you know what? Here, Otto liked to be, handcuffed with his, like, sex play with his right hand. But look, it's on his left. Like, the bruises are on his left.
On the opposite side.
Seems pretty big.
And why did the police not see this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, Benson would be all over this.
To be fair, like, we don't see any at all of their investigations.
Right.
So maybe they are, like, simultaneously, like, basically doing the same thing.
Maybe this is in, like, an alternate reality where there are just so many murders in New Zealand that they need to outsource some.
Some of them, like, make sense. Some of them, it's like the cop is like, oh, this case got closed. Our hands are tied. Can you do something?
Yeah.
But this is literally an ongoing investigation.
This just happened. Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck? It's still going because there's more murders involved with it. So it's just... Anyway, that just blew my mind. So anyway, she finds this charm, and it's either this, like, love charm from Otto, or it's a
evidence. Clarissa.
Exactly. And guess what? It was evidence because
now, did anybody, like, I went into this episode being like, I can't wait to see Renee be the murderer.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone thought this was really Cameron.
No.
That would have. I'm sure Miles, Renee's son, would have been all too happy to do the acting. That would have.
I'm pretty sure the season 1 episode with Danielle Cormack also, we saw her, we were like, she did it.
Yeah, we were like, Danielle's here. She better have done it. Why else am I watching this?
Exactly. Yeah. It turns out that Clarissa, knew about Otto's, like, a bunch of affairs.
Many affairs.
That he would go to the same hotel. He would, what is it, Tuesdays and Thursdays? It was some kind of weird schedule thing. And he liked to be handcuffed. And
he recorded it all.
He had a nanny cam there and, like, recorded everything. Because, that was the big NXIVM thing where he would, like, blackmail the people with this. Because you can't ever, like, leave the cult. Mm-hmm. And then, so she found out about this and she went and stole the key, so he would have to be, like, stuck there. She sprayed perfume on a fire detector.
I like that. I didn't
know you could do that. Now we know.
Perfume on a fire alarm.
That was cool.
Set it off at every
and
alarm
I love that Alexa
off.
says, I've used that myself. I was like, what's that story? What's Alexa setting off fire alarms?
I know. And so then while Sarah ran out, to see if there was a fire, Clarissa came in and murdered her husband. And that's how the murder happened.
I love Clarissa's I'm murdering my husband, Luke. It was my favorite of the episode. The hoodie thing. I don't know what's going on there, but you can tell she wore that very deliberately. She was like, no one will ever notice me in this.
Oh my God.
It's very noticeable.
Yeah. Oh, and so when Madison and Alexa snuck into the Klein's house, they saw a big giant, like, photo of Sarah on the wall, and then also this amazing photo of Michael Hurst and Renee O'Connor as this couple, which I hope somebody put. Yeah, I hope somebody took that and kept that.
Very cute.
It was so good. But again, this was, like, confusing evidence because I thought, like, you're supposed to think that the son is so in love, and also, the son, because Otto wasn't
definitely
really
the red herring. You're supposed to think it's him.
So it was like the son who hung up this photo, like in the house.
I know, it's in like the living room.
Right, but so at that point I was like, oh, it's another, like, it's Clarissa who's in love with Sarah. Like, this is another thing, because then at the same time they were interviewing Otto's previous consort from the cult, who's a very queer woman.
Yes,
I got vibes woman. Like,
and she said she started talking with Sarah.
This blue athletic jacket that said Fannie Mae on the back, which is a Chicago candy brand.
Whoa.
And I literally went online afterwards trying to Google it because I was like,
this is a secret message to you.
I want that. Why is this, New Zealand woman wearing a Chicago candy jacket? Don't know.
Yeah. So she started talking about, like, Sarah as well, and like to me everything pointed that there were some lesbians here, but there weren't apparently.
No.
And it was very strange.
All subtext.
This was entirely oh man, how
again.
old school Xena is this?
Old school Xena,
it was a message
secret
for us.
messages to us.
You like subtext? Here you go. Or as the New Zealanders would say, subtext.
Oh, jeez. I really would like to go back someday. So I hope nobody is listening.
Oh, jeez.
To ban us.
We do it out of love.
Oh, my God.
Love.
So, Renee gets handcuffed and taken away by the police.
Yeah.
And Alexa turns to her son and is like, well, you're pretty talented. And she's like, are you okay? He's like, nope. And she's like, well, all right. Well, you'll be all right.
Madison wants to hang out.
Well, he was like, all right, we could like date or whatever. But he just goes back into his house and that's it. Yo, what the fuck?
I don't know. He was quite good. I thought.
Yeah,
he was very
did a great
sweet.
job. Yeah, I feel like this was sort of like a hard character to wrap your head around because he's like in love with Sarah. He's sort of like in competition with his dad for this. It's complicated, and I feel like you kind of you got that in his eyes in his scenes. Like there was a lot of like intense emotion, which I would expect from any child of Renee to do. Yeah, intense eye acting.
Do you think they practice their lines together? I do.
I definitely do.
It's so cute.
They do all that acting. They did all the theater and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's really sweet.
I also noticed a few instances of patented soft voice. But it was kind of being used for evil.
Oh, nice.
Which I appreciated for sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
So the episode kind of like began with this very strange scene.
Right, there's kind of like a C plot.
Yeah. The C plot is that Alexa hates social media a lot, or like people taking photos and being on social media, which I don't know. Is that like a Lucyism? Not so much. She's on it herself.
She's pretty good on social.
Yeah.
I don't know, to me this reminded me of like someone from like 10 years ago would be like, you kids and your tweets about what you ate for breakfast.
Get off my lawn.
Like, yeah, we know. We know this is what people say.
But she so the restaurant that she goes to in New Zealand is called Reuben's, which I actually like more than the Australian one because I really love the actor who plays Reuben. He was like on Spartacus and he was on Game of Thrones. I really love that guy. Because I remember on Game of Thrones there was a really funny Instagram, like, I don't think they had stories at the time, but just videos from Emilia Clarke when they were filming with them, and they would film him like asleep because of like jet lag and stuff.
Oh no.
It was really cute.
That's
so they had like a fun like rapport. But he's like he's really good as Reuben. And so Alexa's sitting in his restaurant and like she makes fun of somebody taking like the food photo of his beautiful waffles that he makes.
They're gorgeous.
And she like literally is like, that's shitty. And he's like, excuse me, that's my art. And I thought that was rude AF. And then
her photobomb on the street.
She
I like that though.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny because I was like, of course that girl would be honored
to have Lucy Lawless in a spontaneous photo with her.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, you'd be like, what the fuck?
And so the episode ends with, tying it all together where the crew, Madison, the cop, Ruben, and Alexa are having dinner at Ruben's restaurant. And they're like, whoa, what are you doing? Alexa, are you on Instagram? And then she has a new Instagram called Deadly Dough. Oh,
Alexa
stop.
would like to tell us about what Instagram is.
You literally asked her if she was on Instagram.
Yes, you're right. So yeah, Deadly Dough, which is a real Instagram if you look at it. They could have put more things on there.
Oh, I love that they actually
but
set
yeah,
it up
they
for
do.
Alexa.
They did set it up. And she had almost 100 followers. Now there's like 200 something. And it's an Instagram for all her dough.
She realized there were financial possibilities on social media.
Yeah, well, also she found out that Ruben has been putting her bread on the social, and that's why it's been selling. Oh my God. God, how much bread do people get?
I know. I guess bread can be Instagrammable, but it does.
It's not really if you actually go on this.
Slightly weird. Yeah,
it's kind of a boring Instagram.
Bread.
Yeah, just bread. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and there was like a cute little ending photo of them trying to do a selfie, and she's like, "No, I fucking hate my picture being taken." And then it's like that is on the Instagram for Deadly
that's
Dough.
cute.
Yeah,
that's really cute.
So that is the episode. It's cute.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a joy to see. We'll go into more detail about our My Life is Murder feelings. I think you can tell that this isn't necessarily our genre, but we love the fuck out of the fact that Lucy made this happen for her and Renee.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
For the fandom.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful gift.
She said this really sweet thing on, I want to say a Nerdist interview, where Lucy said that, having Renee, act, in this episode with her, felt like something, from your childhood, that certain, nostalgia. And I totally believe it. They must have had so many, flashbacks and, nostalgic feelings, and it's so
and also,
cute.
You have Michael Hurst there,
too,
directing them.
For sure.
So, the fact that it all happened in COVID, where, we're so separated from the people we love. The fact that they were able to make that happen, across the planet, it's a miracle.
And Mark Beasley's also on there.
Right, he's a producer on the show, and he directs
Xena guy.
Buzz.
Yeah, buzzing around. All right, so that was that, and
I'll take it. Except I still wish she was on Ash.
Yeah. That would have been truly fantastic.
Really great.
And she would have been a Deadite.
Mm-hmm. she would have acted the hell out of that.
Yeah.
She would have done so much research.
Yeah.
We partially see it in that one episode. What it would have been like.
For sure.
It's okay. It's all right. I'm over it. Show's over.
Yeah.
We take this. It was fun. I had a good time.
Should we talk about something tiny? A tiny little thing?
Tiny nachos?
It's called Tiny Kitchen Cookoff.
Stevie Nicks' Tiny Fajita Roundup.
Oh my God.
Very
Please. Nice. Yes.
In case, I don't know. I feel like people listening, this did not fly under their radars. But in case it did, Renee and Lucy were also on an episode of a new show that's streaming called Tiny Kitchen Cookoff. Not to be confused with the regular Tiny Kitchen, which I guess has been on for 21 seasons.
Yeah.
This is different. This is where it's actually a cooking competition, but the thing of it is that you're making teeny tiny food in a little teeny tiny oven.
It's judged on presentation only, not taste, guys, because you have one bite.
And it was great to watch that after this because it was just really fun to see them, actual Lucy and actual Renee without her very, very red wig hair.
It was still red.
Yeah, but
it wasn't crazy wig.
Crazy wig. It was just really fun, to see them interacting and they have the same, way. I mean, obviously they're the same people. So, like, Renee taking very seriously the tiny nacho baking and, like, also trying to answer the ladies' questions, the host's questions, because you have to, like, do, rapid fire, like, how well do you know each other game and other things, and talk about your career and whatnot while you're baking the teeny tiny nachos. Yeah. And then Lucy kind of just being very Lucy-y. Right. And very silly.
There was, like, almost a fire in her tiny kitchen. Yeah. She forgot to put cheese on her nachos.
I know. The most important part.
And then at the end, you win a little teeny tiny trophy.
Yeah.
For if you win. This is on YouTube. So you can go find it. We'll tweet it, I guess. Like, I'm sure everybody's already seen it.
So there was a really funny moment. That, like, the best moment of it.
Yes, describe.
Where the host is, trying to, like, do these, like, serious questions. And she goes, how do you feel about, being icons in the LGBTQ community? And Lucy, like, in her Lucy-esque way, answers, like, well, somebody has to do it, Monica. It was so fucking funny.
It was perfect. It was, like, the best thing ever. It's just very, very funny. Yeah. And that's basically what it is. That it's literally just a cooking competition where they make little, very, very small nachos.
It was very nice.
It was really fun to see them together. Yeah, especially because, I wanted so much of just the two of them in My Life as Murder. Yeah. Of course, you don't get that. Right. It's like, it's a show. That isn't Xena. So it was really nice to just see them playing off each other. And their personalities are the same as always, which is just very delightful to see.
And that they're working on some kind of private project.
Yes. She mentioned that in that Nerdist thing, too. And she just keeps, like, Lucy keeps going, like, we're doing something together, but it's private. Yeah. And it's like, thanks for mentioning it. I didn't need to know that.
She refers to Renee as her consultant on the project. Yeah. So I'm very intrigued. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you'll never find out.
We'll never know.
Because it's private. So now she's piqued our interest and we'll never know. Thanks, Lucy.
But I love that they're doing something together.
I absolutely love
in a way, I love it more knowing that, it's not even for us. Right. It's not even for the fandom. It's something they're doing for themselves, for their own friendship, which is like, it's kind of the ultimate. Yeah.
All right. Well, we did a lot of murdering and a lot of tiny cooking.
Tiny murders.
I know. It really, seeing the little tiny nachos in the tiny oven literally made me go, we should make nachos.
But they can be big?
They can be big.
Saw your reflection in a tiny
pile of nachos. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Wow, history. It's amazing that their entire lives are kind of reflected in that tiny pile of nachos.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Follow us on all the 7 things.
We are, what are we on? So we are on all the places you can listen to podcasts, really, which if you're listening, already. We're all on Spotify now, and we're on Apple Podcasts, so you can subscribe and rate and leave reviews. We are on Twitter at Xena Warrior Pod and Facebook, Xena Warrior Podcast, and Patreon.com/Xena Warrior Podcast, where we will be going even more into detail, as you said, on My Life as Murder, upcoming soon, and the Lucy Lawless IMDb experience, and that's the stuff.
The power.
The passion.
The podcast.